Working? Okay. Isaiah, if you notice this changing, let me know. All right, we made it to the English Bill of Rights, right?
Yeah.
We did the English Petition of Rights.
Yeah, we're on number 11.
What was the two big rights the English citizens got out of that first one?
King had to
Ask for taxes.
Couldn't go to jail. They
Can't just get chucked in jail. What did we say that was? 2 words. Due process. Due process. They didn't call it due process. We call it due process. You're due, you're owed the legal process. Yes. In our system's not perfect, but it's based on, and this is, humans mess this all up. If you're arrested, they have to prove you're guilty. You don't have to prove you're innocent. And because of the way our system's set up, guilty people go free. Hopefully less innocent people go to prison. That's the whole setup. All right, English Bill of Rights. Number 1. Now the king has to go through Parliament for almost everything. This was the late 1600s. For almost anything. Now in practice it didn't always work that way, but it wasn't just taxes. Now the king has to ask Parliament advice and stuff for almost everything they did. Had to go through Parliament for almost everything. I'm going to slow down and write what people can see. Next thing was free speech. What this meant, and we'll get to free speech when we get to the Constitution in a couple weeks. If this basically gave you the right to say the king's a dirtbag and not go to jail for it. You can express your political opinions without going to prison. You can say, I don't agree with what Parliament's doing. I don't agree with what the king's doing. In the past, if you said the king's a dirtbag, well, off with your head. But now, you get to have your political opinions. Political, how do you spell that? You get to disagree. And the last one. So we're skipping one. How about that? So you feel like you're winning? You don't feel like you're winning? We're skipping one. No cruel or unusual punishment. I don't want to fall off this cliff. The death penalty. Okay? Now, I'm not asking your opinion on the death penalty, but is the death penalty cruel and unusual? I'm not asking you if you think it's okay or not. Yeah, it's cruel and unusual. Does it match up with the crime? Okay? I'm not trying to debate if death penalty is okay or not, but if the death penalty, if you murder 5 people, the death penalty matches up with that crime. If you steal a car, the death penalty doesn't match up with that crime. So the crime has to fit the punishment. Just because you had a girl doesn't mean we can cut your head off. There's worse things.
What about stealing and cutting your hand off?
What's that?
Stealing and cutting your hand off.
That, to me, that kind of matches up. Because you used your hand to do something bad, this keeps you from doing something bad with that hand now. I guess you could punch some. I wonder. Okay. That and
I think it hurts more.
it'd be a different kind of,
Feel the bone.
it would be,
Well, would we chop it off like past the wrist, or would it just like
I
stop?
don't know.
Maybe they just cut all your fingers.
I wonder if it's just what the guy feels like. Yeah, like that, or if it's I don't know. I think it's just wherever.
I know during war they'd cut off your trigger finger. Or like the fingers that you use for
Yeah.
the bow, they cut those fingers off.
God, if you cut off my thumb, I couldn't coach receivers anymore. Poof, it hit me in the face every time. Poof. God, that'd be horrible. I wonder if I could catch a ball without a thumb.
I think we should do an experiment
I
on
don't think we should. If you've never been to the Coach Ryle School of Receiving, to answer this question. If you've been to the Coach Ryle School of Receiving, don't answer this. What do you catch a football with?
Fingers.
You've been to the Coach Ryle School of Receiving though. Eyeballs and fingertips. Fingertips and eyeballs. Where the ball is, you get your eyes behind the ball. Get your eyes behind the ball. 'Cause you'll catch it better if your eyes are behind it. If you just go, you're not gonna catch it. And don't use your hands, use your fingertips, and you give a little bit. Right? Walls can't catch a pass. It goes right off. I have the smallest hands of any receivers coach in the history of the world. See, you're not a big person. Let's see. See, you're just barely bigger. Embrace him. Isaiah, come here, let's see. Look at that. He's a man. Look at that. Okay. Let's move on. I plan on doing, let's go 10 more minutes. No, 8. Let's go 8. Okay?
Just trying to find a 6.
Alright. Okay, the Mayflower Compact. Where have you heard of Mayflower before?
It's the Pilgrims.
The Pilgrims, the boat the Pilgrims come over on.
Thanksgiving.
In 2nd grade, we did a play, and I was the Pilgrim Father. And I remember I had a toy rifle, you know, and I was probably that big. That thing was, I thought it was like 8 feet tall. It was massive. And we had the little Pilgrim clothes on. I don't know why they had buckles everywhere. Pilgrims loved buckles. Buckle their shoes, buckle their hats, buckles, you know. Anyway,
If you buckle the
That's all I
you
know.
can make it fit better.
that would have been
Like if it had
1974
it fit, it's kind of like buckle it more.
or 5.
How would you guys stretch?
Is that ancient, Jay? 1974, 1975?
Jeez, I'm on track for
They weren't born? No, Christian was born in 74. I bet it was 75. I bet it was 75 when I was a kid. Anyway, Mayflower Compact. The Pilgrims coming over on the Mayflower. Before they got off the boat, they told each other, we need to come up with some kind of government. So, we need to agree to some things before we get off the boat. Because if we wait till after we get off the boat, it's going to be chaos. So before we get off this boat, we got to figure some things out. It wasn't a big deal. Other than it was the first organized government. Okay, first organized English government in the colonies. There's the Mayflower Compact. It's like a postcard. And it basically just said, we're going to work together. It's a lot of weird English language. It wasn't a big deal at all. And that for some reason, the English back then wrote S's, no, F's for S's. I don't know why.
First English what?
The first organized English government in the colonies. Why do you think it was called compact? What's compact mean? It's small. It was tiny. So. Okay, there was 13 colonies. They were all organized, and I can't say this word, under a royal charter, like the king. Charter means like contract. So not William Bradford, he was the Puritans. William Penn. What colony did William Penn help get going? I'll guess.
Let's start with
Pennsylvania. William Penn helped found Pennsylvania. He went to the king and he presents his idea of what he wants his colony to be and where he wants this colony to be, and the king says yes or no. And they sign a contract. And then he doesn't own it, but he's like the governor of it. He oversees it. And he does make some money off of it. Anyway, royal charter. In Pennsylvania. On the courthouse, they have a big statue of, it's either William Penn or Ben Franklin. I think it's William Penn. They got a big statue of him on the courthouse, and it's massive, like City Hall. And in, I forget what year, they finally built a building taller than that statue. And Pennsylvania and Philadelphia did not win a championship in any sport after they built that building taller than William Penn until, I guess, the Phillies a couple years ago won the World Series. Maybe it was more than that. So, pretty cool little statue. I wonder how they got those statues up there back before they had like helicopters and stuff. They had to use cranes. The Capitol. There's a big, huge statue on top of the Capitol. They put that thing up there without cranes and without helicopters. And that's, top of that dome's got to be like 300-400 feet tall. And it weighs a ton, literally. All right, the idea of the republic. The idea of the republic, and what's a republic?
Yes.
Representative democracy came from Rome. We got the idea of democracy from Athens, from the Greeks. We got the republic from Rome. Now in English, I'm thinking y'all learned about this.
English.
Where did y'all learn about Rome and the republic?
Caesar.
Caesar. Didn't Julius Caesar y'all do that in English still? Didn't they murder? Who'd they kill? A2 Brute or whatever. Who Brutus? They killed Brutus or
They killed Caesar.
Caesar. Okay.
Brutus stabbed Caesar.
Yes.
A whole bunch of people.
Where did he get stabbed?
Everywhere.
Okay, yes, but I mean like in front of the Senate. They had a Senate. They had elected officials.
The Senate killed him.
Yes. So they had a Senate in Rome. So we didn't have to make up the word Senate. It had already been made up. I don't know what Senate means. I guess it means white guys in robes that kill people. I don't know. Who knows? But that's where we got the idea of the republic. You got me. You skipped yesterday.
This is something different. They live in Texas.
All right.
And they kill her friend. To complete it.
Let's do 4 more. We're done. All right? 4 more. We're done. Judeo-Christian. Tell me what Judeo-Christian means. Jewish and Christian. Y'all heard of Judeo-Christian ethics?
No.
Where do you think you would get, what's ethics mean? If you're ethical, what kind of person is ethical?
Thinker.
It means you do things right. Unethical, you do things wrong. So Judeo-Christian ethics is going to be based on what? Judeo-Christian ethics. Where would you find right and wrong? The Bible. Old Testament, New Testament. Judeo, Old Testament. Christian, New Testament. So Western Europe, when we say the Western world, you're talking about Europe, right? So it's based on the Bible. And there are laws and stuff are based on Western European Judeo-Christian ethics. In the Eastern world, now there's a bunch of China and Japan and that, okay? And then there is the Muslim world, and they're based on Sharia law, based on the Quran. Most people say killing's wrong. Most. but every culture does some killing. It's okay to kill that person. It's okay to kill that person. Judeo-Christian, that's where it comes from. We allow women to speak and hopefully to be treated like human beings. Sharia law does not allow that. Women are property in a Muslim country. And so that's a big thing. So we got our laws and our culture and stuff from Western Europe based on the Ten Commandments. That's Judeo-Christian. I've got the 10 Commandments up in my room. Where'd I put them? Yeah. Just wanted to make sure you were fully offended. I don't know if you're aware of that. There's the 10 Commandments. They're in my room. What's the one thing that makes the 10 Commandments controversial? It says don't kill people. Can most of us agree with that? It says don't lie. What's that?
I feel like you're like protecting yourself.
That's true. But there's one thing in there that makes it where people go, oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
So the most important one.
Most important. But you don't have to, do you have to believe that to be in my room? No, you don't. You have to like the Packers. You have to like Three Stooges. You have to like Napoleon. I mean, I got all kinds of crap up in here. So, what if I forced y'all to sign that and say, I believe this and will live this the rest of my life, or else you fail this class? Is that different? Yes. But the fact that it's up there, y'all even know it's up there. I have a poster that says Jesus Christ on there. Oh my gosh. It also cusses. I have a poster up here that cusses. The 10 Commandments cuss. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. So there we go. We just cussed him. Yes. Okay. Yeah, there it is. It's right out there for the whole world to see. I'm unafraid. Bring it. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. If they fire me, I guess I'll work at Lowe's. But I'd owe them money. I wouldn't get paid at Lowe's. I would owe them money. Because I would get this and this and this and this and this and this. I would know everything that's there. I walk in there and just go. I guess it's like a clothes store for girls. Lowe's is a guy's clothes store. That's what that is. Shoe store. Do girls like shoes? I know one girl that likes shoes. Y'all like shoes? She likes shoes. She ordered some weird ones. They're like pilgrim shoes. They have little buckles, but they're flat and pointy. Okay, whatever. Enlightenment. We'll be done after this because the Enlightenment. The Enlightenment was a period during the 1600s, like the Renaissance or the Dark Ages. It was the Enlightenment. We already talked about natural rights and social contract. People started thinking about and writing about human rights. People were enlightened that human beings have rights. Did that affect the 1700s in America? Yes, it did. All right. Thank you very much. Yes.